Hello again. It's still me. You ready to listen to some more words from Mr. Paul? All right. So if I'm talking a little nonsense, I just got back from a big outdoor ed trip on Nose Hill, and now I'm here all sweaty and sticky, still shooting some videos for you all in math land. That was totally lame, but that's fine. So phase two. Phase two. Phase two is going to be taking your data, all that beautiful, pretty data that we talked about in the last thing that we were just talking about. Your data should be looking pretty like this. Color-coded, 5 t-tables, mean, median, mode, and range, all calculated. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at it, look for some comparisons, look for something that you're like, I bet you no one in the school, no one in my class knows this. For example, what city has almost half of the population of Calgary? That's a great question, right? If we look down here, we actually have a few that are pretty close. Grand Prairie, Medicine Hat, Fort McMurray. They're all within about half. There's number one question on your survey. That's fantastic. Okay, but the crazy thing is they have half the population. Look at how little land that population is on. So over here, I got 621 kilometers. Oh, that's not half. What am I talking about? That's way less than half. That's only 60,000. We have 100 or 1,300,000. So in this one, there's only one that's close. Airdrie. Airdrie is the only one that has pretty close to. Is that still? That'd be 1,400,000. Yeah. Well, I guess that was pretty close. Yeah. Is it? No, 100. No, nothing's even close. Wow. I must have been out in the sun too much because double that would be 140,000. Look at the gap between Calgary and Edmonton and the rest. Let's just do a quick, this is where you're going to get your calculator out for all you guys who are interested. We got 1,300,000 divided by, let's say, let's go back down to Grand Prairie, 63,000. 63, 1, 2, 3. Holy smokes. No, it was way off. Off by a whole decimal place. You could put 20, the population of Grand Prairie, 20 of them into Calgary. Okay, so there's another thing. Which city, how many Grand Prairies could you put into Calgary in terms of population? You could put in 20. Right? That's a great survey question. So we're trying to build surveys. So we are actually highlighting what people don't know. That's the whole point of this. All right. So anyway, let's get on to what we're doing now. Survey. Back in your Google. Got to go into Google. Open up your little what's it called, folder that has all your schoolwork in it, and we go new. When you go new, you're going to go to Google Forms. Now, Google Forms is a super cool little software. So here, please, on the untitled form, when you get in here, it's just click and hit. What we're going to do is you're going to put, like, Mr. Paul's. You don't have to put your name on it if you don't want to. Let's today say I'm doing Alberta land use. Alberta land use survey. If you are okay with it, you can put your name on it too. All right. Put a little description. Okay, what research did you do? What was your interest? So this is like a couple of sentences maybe. You can even put bullet points. In this, you can also add images. When you go to add image, it's going to give you the option to add a Google image. Okay, so how about we do Alberta? Oh, there, look, nice prairie. So I click on that. Over here it says insert. Bing! Okay, now I got this beautiful image in here. Okay, of a dilapidated barn. All right, so I would like you to throw some photos in here. Now, when you get into this, let me just move myself around here because that's annoying. You have on the right hand side choices for a linear scale. That's like a ordering. You can use a drop down. You can do a checkbox, multiple choice. Stay away from paragraph and short answer. Don't want any of those. Some of these other ones, multiple choice grid. This is where it's like a matching question. Okay, so play around with some of those if you want. Really, they can just be multiple choices or drop downs. Those are the simplest. Don't have more than 5 choices per multiple choice though. All right. Now, ideally, I don't want these to be more than 5 questions long. I want them short, Okay, you're going to have about 70 of these to do. So each one, we should be able to read, take them, answer them in approximately like 3 to 4 minutes. All right. So when you're building them, that's where the art comes in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through. That's how you do it. There's not a lot more to it. The big thing is that make these required. If you're doing sensitive topics and you know who you are, don't require responses on anything. Okay. The other thing is if your topic is a little sensitive, please only ask questions that are directed to your data. Don't ask any opinion questions at all. If you're doing a research project on, let's say, pickles, okay, feel free to ask a personal response. Do you like pickles? Yes, no, maybe. So if your topic is pretty inert, is pretty safe, you can ask for some public opinions in your survey. All right, so that's what it looks like. The one thing I will ask is that once you think you have it done, you're going to hit send here, and I need you to put in pbmarlette@educbe.ca. I need you to send me your survey before it goes live. Okay, so I need to go through it first. So once I go through it, I'll let you know that you can launch it, and then we can start to collect. Up here, you'll also see it says "Do not collect." Please don't collect email addresses. All right, great. So let's go take a look at some samples now. So the first one, this one is really good. I like using this one because it shows you really quickly how the data that he collected and the data he's trying to verify. So right off the bat, what percentage of the Canadian Armed Forces is male? So he knows the answer, right? What he's doing now is he's just trying to figure out how well do other people know the armed forces. So he's got male, he's got female, how many veterans have mental health issues? Right? He knows the answer. Now this is brilliant because he doesn't put any straight numbers. Okay? Remember, we don't want to put any tells in our surveys. We really want to know, honestly, how many people know the answers to this. And if they don't know, how far away are they from the answers? Okay? How many veterans are under 30? Look, he's got 5 data sets. He asked one question per data set. These ones are fantastic. He's got them mixed up order. So we've got another age. This is a mistake. Okay. When you're in Google Forms, you can also, there's a spot on the bottom right here where you can preview it. Right. So, and you can make these humorous, guys. Make them fun to take. All right. So this is, we got a title. Now the title here is almost identical to the description. So have fun with this. You can put a little paragraph in here about how most people you see at restaurants are now talking face to face almost never, and they always have their phones out, right? So make these not exciting, but make them interesting. So what style of communication do you use most of your friends? My goodness. I'm okay. Just read it. So this is, oh my gosh. This is a opinion. So this is, they're collecting information on our population. Do you have social media? Oh my gosh, yes or no? And again, these are all anonymous. So you can collect data like this. Whether you have social media or not, do you think it's the best way for teens to communicate with their friends? Great, they know the data. Okay, how important do you think social media is to a teen's life? Again, they have the data for this. And then another question that's getting some opinion. High school and university survey. This student actually had her output for her presentation already sorted out, and she wanted to see how well Canadian teens knew about the American university stuff. Okay, so do you think graduating before? Now this one here is a short answer. So it would be better if you actually put in like multiple choice for that. Do you believe attending private high school would increase that number? Yes, no other. So opinion, she already knows. So she's comparing, she's trying to get information to compare to what she collected. So this survey is 7 questions long. This was interesting. Do you believe Democrats or Republicans are more educated? Again, she had the data. So these questions come right from the data. Next one, hot dogs. How many data sets do you think this person had? 4 data sets. How many hot dogs do you think are consumed yearly? 1 trillion. That's disgusting if that's right. What do you think is the longest hot dog? Which state do you think eats the most hot dogs? And the cool thing is that most of us don't know the answers. So we're just going to guess blindly and see what happens. And that's where the fun comes in collecting data. How many hot dogs do you think are consumed at a ballpark every year in San Francisco? Any of those is a little disgusting. Technology use in teens. Okay, again, you can see these data sets, some humor. I don't know what that person is in there for. They were curious because this is what their data had. Their data actually was linked to the age of the student. So they put the age in because that's the data that they could compare to. How many Canadians own a phone? How often does your phone die? How often do you check your phone first thing in the morning? And then she has one more question. Okay, this one is interesting. How many hours could you go without checking a device? The answer to this one was quite interesting because the average was around like between 1 and 4 hours. Another one, calories then versus now. Really cool research project done, looking at the increase in calories. This one we actually put an optional on because it talks about calories. So how many calories do you think are in a Big Mac now? Right, so yeah, so this is 20 years ago. Pasta had 500 calories. How many calories is in pasta now? Bagels, calories now. So soda had, so collected a lot of information, but narrowed it down to about 5 questions. Okay, could have added one question about like public survey. How many sodas do you drink in a week? Something like that, if you wanted to collect something to kind of poll the group as well. And that wouldn't come from your data. This is hilarious. This student broadened their search because they were having trouble finding information that gave them their 5 data points. So what amount of humans get killed by the following insects and arachnids? This is one of those quizzes that use a grid. So if I put mosquitoes here, see it says this question requires 1 response per row. So this is kind of like a matching question, like that. So you have to match whatever the name is to what the row is. A neat way to do it. What amount of humans get killed by the following African elephants? Guess what? That was a T table. So a hippo, there, lions, and if I try to do this, sometimes it doesn't let me do it, but sometimes, that's weird. I think you can set the parameters on that actually. So same thing. So we just go all the way down. It represents their 5, 6, look at this. Which amount of humans get killed by the following? Vending machines, skydiving, and fall. I think that was the answer. Vending machines, skydiving, and falling coconuts. Coconuts are crazy dangerous. Okay. When you take these, when we're clear, you actually hit submit. And there's one more I want to show you. Well, it's the same one. Is this it? That's mine. Anyway, so hopefully you get an idea that when you're doing these surveys, what I want you to do is to collect data from your peers. The one I mentioned in the last video is, let's say you have some numbers that are really big. So one student is doing a project on Everest. So how many Calgary towers would it take to reach the height of Everest? Something like this. Okay, and let's do multiple choice as I put it in. The first one would be 4 Calgary towers. The next one, just hit enter. Okay, the next one would be 50. The next one could be, oh, what did I do there? No, I don't want to insert an image yet. The next one could be 100. Remember, don't make them even. Let's go 123. This one should not be 50. It should be like 49. It's harder to decide. If you want another one, we just go add another. And let's say this one is 163. Oh, We got something weird going on here. Add option. There we go. 163. Okay. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me the data. Now I don't even have to put Calgary Towers in there. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, that's 1 out of 5 questions done. And what it tells us, do we actually know how tall the Calgary Tower is, and do we have an indication of how tall Everest is? The answer to this, I believe, if my memory serves, is 163. Another student is doing, here you can duplicate this. Another student is looking at food waste. So how much food does the USA waste in a year as compared to blue whales? So we actually compared the weight of how much food is wasted in the States by blue whales. Now a blue whale weighs 200 tons, or I want to say 19,000 pounds. Something like that. And I could be wrong on that. So same thing. This one could be like 567. Thank you very much. This one could be 1,372. I'm making up numbers, right? 18,000, like that. And in this one, you can use commas because it's just easier to read. And the last one is 238,468, something like that. Right? Now, what would you say? How much food waste is there in the States? Right? So these are great questions. And at the same time, what you can do is we can insert an image. So let's just go blue whale. So remember, images make things just that much more enjoyable to take. How about blue whale next to boat? Let's give it some perspective. Do we have one? There's one. That's a crazy shot. Right there. How about that one? Insert. Okay, so now we actually have the image of a blue whale, and we have the question. And we can drag this around. So now we're like, blue whale, why is there a blue whale in my survey? Anyway, guys, that's how we do it. That's the process. This is your crack at it. Next week, we'll refine these, we'll take them, and then we'll start analyzing the data. I hope that helps. Hope that gives you some indication, and good luck. And we'll talk to you soon. Adios, amigos and amigas. See you, everybody.